The same thing used to happen to me until I realized successful people don't judge. Happy people don't judge. Healed people don't judge. You know why? Because they love themselves, they're confident, and they're focused on their own journey. Okay? They are not paying enough attention to you to even judge what you're doing. And even if they are, they would only wish you well because they don't have a fear of being perceived, right? Whereas a hater would. People only judge you because they could not imagine, they could not comprehend putting themselves out there in the way that you are. And so they automatically resort to judging you and insulting you. When someone calls your content online cringe, all that's showing is their fear of being perceived on social media and the fact that they could never do it themselves. And so they are taking that insecurity out on you. Same goes for literally everything else. I have girls messaging me all the time. How do you solo date? How do you do things alone? You know, don't you think people are looking at you, staring at you, judging you? 100% they are. But I don't care because I'm like, you have such a limited mindset. I'm out here minding my own business. It says way more about you that you are concerned about me than just focusing on yourself and enjoying your experience at this restaurant. Like, that is actually sad, and I hope you get better soon. And as long as you just laugh about it like that, life every day gets a lot easier. You could just focus on yourself and do whatever you want as long as it makes you happy. And everybody else's opinions just fade away. When I tell you, my entire reality changed in 2023. I am the happiest and most successful I have ever been after years and years of adversities. So I compiled a little list of the biggest things I think that impacted it. Friendship standards, I no longer accept friends just for the sake of it. I don't care if you're loyal, I don't care if you're nice, I don't even care if you're fun to hang around with. My filtering process for who I allow into my life right now is actually crazy, but it saved me so many times. I have not gone through one bad friendship or relationship breakup this year. I haven't got my heart broken. I haven't had to deal with any drama as a result. And because of that, I've been able to pour all of my effort, energy, and happiness into my work and my goals. So for example, I'm not friends with insecure people. I've learnt my lesson the hard way. It's a breeding ground for resentment and jealousy. I don't get myself involved in that. Also, only friends with people that genuinely align with me, can engage in deep conversations. We want to go to a similar height in life. And so we actually influence each other positively because you're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. Partying to work in the AM. I pretty much cut partying out all year. I've only started getting back into it. And my rule with this is 2 drinks max. 2 drinks max because I'm still going to be getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning to go to the gym and work out. Yearly goals to weekly schedule also kept me so consistent. So every single week, I literally on Sundays will plan out every single hour of my day from the next Monday to Sunday. And when I'm planning that out, I have multiple color coordinated calendars of each area of my life. So like routine, my different income streams, how much time I'm going to contribute to them on each day of the week. And then I'll always review the New Year's resolutions I set at the beginning of 2023, and I will incorporate micro tasks or habits throughout that week to make sure that I am contributing to them on a regular basis. Food research and list. I completely tried to avoid inflammatory foods. This also includes coffee. I completely cut out coffee and basically replaced it with matcha. I've just tried to focus on consuming whole foods as much as possible because I really understood finally that beauty comes from within and all of the food that you consume. So I spent 1 hour once this year just researching my intolerances, anti-inflammatory foods, processed foods to cut out, what to replace sugar with, because I cut that out as well. Foods to reduce inflammation in the body, to reduce acne, to slim down your face. And then I kind of created a grocery list according to that research, and I buy those exact same foods every single week, and it has changed me. Embracing cringe definitely changed my life this year. I started this year with 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. I had to act like I had made it before I made it, and that is exactly why I have just hit 800,000 subscribers 12 months later. Like, the level of F's that I gave this year reduced to 0. I don't care what anybody else says about me. Your judgment of me just shows your fear of being perceived. As soon as I stopped overthinking about what are people going to think of this and how am I going to look, I finally got all of the success on social media I ever dreamed of. This links into act like you already have it mentality. Every single action I take on a daily basis, I think, is this going to align to the woman I want to become? Is this something my higher self would do? Whether it's the outfit I'm going to wear that day, whether it's how I carry myself, who I surround myself with, how I talk, the work I do, the routine I have. And it's the greatest way to speed up your manifestations and actually make sure that you're growing every single day. Because the lifestyle you live isn't going to change until you change yourself. Next up, real dopamine morning routine. Gone are the days of scrolling and rotting in bed first thing in the morning. I really prioritized getting out of bed super early, heading straight to the gym, then going on a walk to really get out in nature, under the sun, move my body, listen to upbeat music. Those are all sources of real dopamine. You have never gotten off your phone and thought, oh, now I feel happy, now I feel satisfied to get on with my day. It always leaves you feeling worse. Nothing is personal.
I entered my unbothered era. I don't care what anybody else has to say about me. Just the fact that I learned, which is that every judgment anybody ever makes of you is just based off of their own lessons, trauma, how they were raised, their childhood, their mentality, how their parents think. Anything you think about me is literally none of my business. And it really increased my confidence and just allowed me to push myself further into all of my goals without worrying about judgments. Skincare, less is more. I spent years crafting these long ass lists of skincare routines which literally wrecked my skincare barrier, and my skin has never been the same. But this year I finally cut all of that out and I really focused on beauty from within. So like I said before, consuming anti-inflammatory foods, cutting out as much processed food as I possibly can. I've really reduced my sugar intake as well, and I've seen my skin improve so much. Now my routine is literally just a gentle cleanser, a gentle moisturizer, some avocado eye cream from Kiehl's, and that's it. In terms of confidence, it really leveled up because I started thinking, only I know what's best for me. Nobody understands me like I do. Like, anybody else's validation of me is automatically invalid because, once again, everything you think is based on your own life experience and not me. I have lived so much of my life up until this point worrying about what my family are gonna think, really taking their advice on board, and although I know they're trying to do what's best for me, I ignored a lot about what they said I should do, and now I'm sitting in my own apartment having fulfilled all of my goals and living my dream life. And if I listened to what they had said, I wouldn't have any of what I have right now. And that has given me so much confidence and trust within myself that, hey, if I want to do something and everybody thinks it's too risky, I'm going to go and do it anyway. Next is short-term sacrifices for long-term gain. I don't care how uncomfortable it feels in the moment. I don't care if everybody else is partying on the weekend or doing this really fun thing. If they don't want the same lifestyle I have, why am I living in the exact same way as them? So there are days I've had to skip a really fun event, or I've had to go to sleep earlier than other people, but I know this is gonna craft the life of my dreams. So I'm okay with sacrificing this short-term comfort for a very long-term gain to align with the woman I've always dreamed of being. Budgeting, standing order investments. I can't believe I waited until this year to do it. Please get on this ASAP. Investing your income and not saving it is the best thing you can do for yourself. Every single month, I have multiple sums of income that automatically leave my bank account to go into my pension, to go into the stock market, to go into a high interest savings account. And it's taken so much stress off me because now I know every single month with my paycheck, any money that's left over is just for me, and my financial future freedom is kind of sorting itself out. Self-care Sundays. As a work from home and working for yourself girly, we all know how you can literally overwork yourself so much and sacrifice your mental health in the process. Self-care Sundays saved me because it gives me that one thing to look forward to every single week. It allows me to just balance my mental health again. I can do a whole day of nothing if I want. I can go out and have food with my friends. I can literally do whatever, and work is not on my mind for that entire 24 hours. But most of the time I do spend these Sundays just keeping up with my maintenance. So I will wash all my makeup brushes every Sunday, wash my bed sheets, oil my hair. That's been a huge thing for my beauty rituals. That is like another contribution for my self-love. You know, I might take myself on a solo date every Sunday. I'll definitely buy myself flowers, read a book, and just give back to myself because the other 6 days of the week, I am grinding, I am hustling. Next, I got so serious about my comfort zone and how damaging it can be to the trajectory of your life. Every single week, I challenge myself to do something that is so scary and so outside of my comfort zone because that is the only way I am ever going to build up any discipline. So I did public speaking at events I didn't think I was qualified for. I walked up to people in networking events that I was too scared to talk to, and I have been so much better off since. Your comfort zone is where you are going to go to die. It is where all of your dreams are going to stay stagnant and never come to fulfillment. When it feels scary to jump in, that is exactly when you jump. Otherwise, you stay in the same place your whole life. This year, I moved into my dream apartment all on my own, and when I was moving in, I was so nervous. I thought, do I even have the financial means to do this? And ever since I just jumped, regardless, my income went up, my stability went up. Moving into this apartment improved my mental health, my peace of mind, my work ethic, my lifestyle, my friendships, all because I just decided to do what was scary, and I figured it out in the process. Romanticizing what I hate, this once again links to discipline. Like, I'm not going to give up on something just because I don't like how it feels if I know it's going to give me long-term gain. This links back to a few years ago when I was in university and I hated studying. I would make Pinterest boards on like study aesthetic. I would watch movies about university and studying to just romanticize the experience and be grateful for what I have in the current moment, even if it's far off from the goal life that I'm trying to work towards. Average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and so I implemented this by really increasing my consumption of self-help podcasts and books. And lastly, no more trends is the last thing that changed my life. This has saved me money, time, energy, and just give me peace of mind. I don't care what new makeup trends come out because I know exactly what makeup works best for my face. I have one foundation, one mascara that I've probably been using for years, and I continuously repurchase. Same goes for fashion. I know exactly what I like. I do definitely buy clothes a lot, but every time I buy them, I know I'm gonna be wearing this for at least the next 5 years. It just makes getting ready in the morning so much easier as well. To my girlies who feel awkward in public spaces because they feel like they're being watched, why is it so bad if you're being watched? What could they possibly be thinking about you? Why do you automatically assume that everyone has a negative judgment of you? What if when people are looking at you, they're admiring you? Think about that for a second. Never tell them what your boundaries are, what your standards are, what your type is, or how you were treated in the past. These 4 facts must remain top secret, I would say, within the first few weeks of dating or until you are sure about that person and how they feel about you. Because when you tell somebody all of these facts in the very beginning, you're basically giving them a cheat sheet on how to play you, how to manipulate you, how to make you fall for them, and then they can switch up and act however they want because they gave you the illusion that they were exactly what you wanted in the beginning. So honey, we sit back and we observe. That is you being in your feminine energy. That is you being detached. That's you knowing that at the end of the day, what's meant for you will find you. So you don't need to worry. You're gonna sit back and you're gonna observe and you're gonna watch how they treat you. Especially with the telling someone how you were treated in the past, you are now telling this man that you are the kind of woman that accepts that kind of treatment. You might not be now, and they might not want to treat you in that horrible way, but what they will know is she accepted this low vibe, bare minimum behavior. That means all I have to do is go right here to impress. People have said that I'm flat because I don't have enough curves, I'm too skinny, do I even eat? People will say that I'm built like an ironing board. I'm built like a door. Someone the other day commented on my video saying that I am built like a mother effing grasshopper. And you know what? So be it. You know why? Because I actually really like my body type. Even though it's not deemed as the socially acceptable beauty standard for women, that they have to have an hourglass figure and they have to have curves and they can't be too slim, do I give an F? You gotta be your own validation, okay? So I speak that daily. I look in the mirror daily and I'm like, you look so good. The body is giving. That's the thing, guys. You can't wait until the day that you're more beautiful or you're more confident. You have to create that confidence right now. The people pleaser nice girl will start changing her wardrobe to try and hide the things that she lacks or try to make her body look slimmer than it is or curvier than it is. A baddie just really doesn't care what other people have to say or judge her as, because what business do you have making an opinion on me? Like, focus on yourself. The people that are judging you have a fear of being perceived themselves. Because if they see you out here in like a really nice outfit or your makeup's done and they're trying to like bully you for it, it's because they themselves cannot comprehend why you would have the confidence and courage to go out dressed like that, or to post that picture on social media, or to post that video, or to talk in the way that you do, or to have the sense of humor that you do, because they are constantly performing for others. And to see you living in your authenticity and not performing for others triggers them. So they label you as cringy or embarrassing. I'm so happy with how I look for the first time in my life. Like, I love everything about how I look. I normally start every single new year like, I need to glow up, I need to get prettier, how can I look like this person? No, I love myself so much. I'm like, what glow up where? It's been done, baby. I will go grocery shopping in an extravagant outfit, fur coat, sunglasses, and fake lashes. I don't care because it makes me feel so confident. Do you know how I strut outside like a supermodel? So clean girl aesthetic and like minimal makeup is the trend and it's cute. It's just not my thing. And I am straying away from that because I am more focused on what's gonna make me feel like that girl, not what makes everybody else feel like that girl.
It's actually so crazy when you realize that society tricks us into thinking that we're single, or we didn't get the job offer, or we've been rejected because of our looks, because of our intelligence, because of how cool we are. When really it was just because of our misaligned energy. That was it. Every single person on this planet is capable of finding love, of finding the job, of finding the opportunity, the right group of friends. And we all beat ourselves up and think that we're not good enough when really we just need to get more in tune to our self-love, our self-perception, and most importantly, our vibration. That's it. That's the only thing that determines how far an opportunity is being pushed from you and how quick you're going to manifest it for yourself. And we have all seen it for ourselves when you know your friend is the most talented individual and for some reason they didn't get the opportunity, but somebody who has less experience than them did. Why? Just because they believe in themselves more.
just because they weren't filling themselves with self-doubt and shame and guilt, beating themselves up about whether they're even worthy of the opportunity. Instead, their confidence filled them up so much that they could align with the feeling of already having the thing, already having the opportunity, so they could attract it. And your friend who has all of the qualifications and is perfect for the role and everybody knows it, still didn't get it. Simply because deep down, they didn't really believe that they could. So they placed their self-worth in the hands of another person and the opportunity got snatched away as a result. And this is so important, especially in the dating world, because I have had friends who constantly doubted if they would ever find their person, and the second that they flipped their mindset, they got it. That's why sometimes you'll see the most eligible people ever stay single for years on end, because they're either looking in the wrong place, they have a completely distorted self-image, they're still living in a place of their trauma, or they simply don't think that they're deserving of a healthy relationship or that it's realistic, so they'll never attract one.
Not everyone can see your light. And that's because not everyone is supposed to be in your life and be worthy of you. And that is a blessing in disguise. Therefore, we all collectively need to stop forcing connections with people that the universe is literally trying to warn us aren't our people. So stop teaching people how to treat you. Stop asking that guy to act right and fix up. Stop teaching that guy how to be emotionally intelligent. Stop asking them if they're gonna ask you on a date. Because if I have to fight for your attention, then f your attention.
What has granted me so much peace in dealing with friendship breakups is I don't take it personally. So I don't look at it as me versus the friend. I take a step back. This was the universe granting me a lesson. This was a favor actually, because now I have more wisdom. Actually, this isn't personal because everybody has to go through a broken friendship at one point or another in their lives, and they have to learn how to grow from that.
One of the biggest manifestations of my life has recently come true, and a lot of my friends have been asking me why I'm not overexcited about it. And I was wondering about this myself. Like, I'm very chill about the fact that this is happening to me when it's a huge achievement. I was speaking to my friend about it, and I realized both of us do this every single time we achieve our goals. And then we realized it's because such an important part of manifestation is to avoid saying things like, I can't believe this has happened to me, or acting almost like shocked or in disbelief that you actually attracted this thing into your life. Because the biggest part of manifestation is visualizing that you're going to get it and fully wholeheartedly believing you're going to get it. So then when you do, what is there to be shocked about? Like, don't get me wrong, you should totally be proud of yourself and congratulate yourself, but you do not need to pause your life to just be in awe of the fact that you got this, because you should have always known you were going to get it. It was only a matter of time. Acting like it's the biggest deal in the world when good things happen to you is kind of communicating to the universe that you're not used to those things, and you also don't have the abundance mindset yet. I feel like master manifestors, when good things happen to them, they're like, this is great, I love this for me, but also I'm about to get so much more.
I used to make the mistake of going with the flow when I was out and about dating. Oh, you know, this guy is attractive and he's nice and he's showing me some affection, I'll just date him. No. I used to think because this guy was good looking, kind and intelligent, he was good enough. I eventually got to a point where none of those qualities were good enough anymore, and instead I would test the guy on a few things to see if I would go on a second date with him. The last test I conduct is the post-date intentions. The 48 hours after the first date, if you have not even suggested where we're gonna go next, or the fact that you want to see me again, I've lost interest. Because you need to realize that you are a young, beautiful woman in her prime with so many options. Why would you be waiting around weeks for a guy to suggest a second date? You could literally get anyone you want, and other than that, you have a busy, abundant, fulfilling life to live, and you do not need to be waiting around for some guy to text you. If he hasn't set his intention after the 48 hours after the first date, you've forgotten. I'm sorry, I'm busy doing other things. Like, you need to put the effort in and communicate and not leave me on. I used to make the mistake of going with the flow when I was out and about dating. Oh, you know, this guy is attractive and he's nice and he's showing me some affection, I'll just date him. No. I used to think because this guy was good looking, kind and intelligent, he was good enough. I eventually got to a point where none of those qualities were good enough anymore, and instead I would test the guy on a few things to see if I would go on a second date with him. The last test I conduct is the post-date intentions. The 48 hours after the first date, if you have not even suggested where we're gonna go next, or the fact that you want to see me again, I have lost interest. Because you need to realize that you are a young, beautiful woman in her prime with so many options. Why would you be waiting around weeks for a guy to suggest a second date? You could literally get anyone you want, and other than that, you have a busy, abundant, fulfilling life to live, and you do not need to be waiting around for some guy to text you. If he hasn't set his intention after the 48 hours after the first date, you've forgotten. I'm sorry, I'm busy doing other things. Like, you need to put the effort in and communicate and not leave me on red.
You are insecure because you're choosing
to be insecure. First thing in the morning, you go into the bathroom, look in the mirror and start fixating on your skin, on its appearance. Then you go ahead and you put your outfit on for the day and you look in the mirror and you criticize your body and you think, well, it doesn't look how I imagined it to look, and why does my body not look snatched, and this doesn't compliment me, and I don't have the perfect figure. Then you go out and you're talking to people and you get upset when an interaction didn't go in the way that you imagined it to. And you thought you were too socially awkward and you didn't speak in the way that you wanted to, or you didn't say what you wanted to, or you felt like you were too quiet or shy, and now you're worrying about what they are going to think about you. Now, at the end of the day, after you didn't meet all of those imagined ideals, you label yourself a failure. Someone who should be insecure, someone who's not good enough. You're a loser, you're ugly, you're imperfect. But from what? Based on what? Rules that you made up? Now, imagine your day goes like this instead. You wake up, go into the bathroom, do your skincare, and then you hop straight in the shower. When you're in the shower, you are thinking about and fixating on what you can incorporate into your day to make it a better one, a greater one, to improve your happiness levels 1% more than they were yesterday. And you go to get dressed, you put your outfit on, and while looking at yourself in the mirror, you realize, hey, this is my body. It's just a vessel that holds everything that is important about me. My appearance is actually the least interesting thing about me because I have so much value and worthiness and amazing energy to offer as a human being. After you get dressed, you leave the house and you go to an event with a room filled with people and you think, this is a great opportunity to mingle and have some social interaction because it will help me grow as a person. It will help my confidence, especially my social confidence, my skills with talking to other people, which I'm not quite there with yet, but at least I can try just to say that I did it and learn from it. Maybe if I just go up and talk to someone, I'll have the amazing opportunity of having a meaningful conversation with somebody else. And yes, I'm still shy and I might not know what to talk about and there might be an awkward silence, but hey, there's always the chance that I could make somebody else's day better just from having a conversation with them. Can you tell the difference with that second routine of how that person's day went? They finally shifted their focus and their fixations away from themselves and instead on their life, on how they can make it. Normalize feeling sorry for people and then just moving the F on. Nothing can hurt me anymore because I finally understood that nothing is personal. So it doesn't matter how you speak to me, it doesn't matter how you try to put me down, it doesn't matter how you treat me. At the end of the day, the way I'm gonna pity you is the thing that's gonna get me over it. Because what do you mean you like to belittle others? What do you mean you want to take time out of your day to comment that hateful thing on that person's post? What do you mean you spend your days gossiping about people who don't even know you exist? The people out there that will gaslight and emotionally manipulate you can't help it. That's how they're wired. And when you realize that and the fact that nothing is personal, you just gotta feel sorry for them and be like, damn, like that's really the personality that you are given in this life. That's really the way you were raised. That's really how your trauma is controlling your every move. Jeez, like ouch. And then move on with your life. Who would you be if you had zero insecurities? How would you carry yourself? How would you feel about yourself? How would you show up with others? How would you go about every single day? Now that you have that image of yourself, why can't you start acting like that? That image of yourself, that is who you are. That represents your character. Your insecurities, however, are not a part of your identity. They are not a core part of who you are. They were not naturally given to you at birth. They are not a part of your personality. You chose to have them. They are a decision you make about the way that you feel about yourself, and you are the one who gets to decide when you stop feeling that way so that you can finally live out that ideal, desired version of yourself that you just thought of in your head. I need your confidence to reach a level where you are more than comfortable with being disliked by many. I'm talking to the point where your friend is telling you, this person said this about you, these people are judging you, so-and-so group of people don't like you, and you are unbothered, unfazed, because you are so confident in your pure heart and your intentions that you know you have that nobody could ever make you doubt your character. Because you know yourself so damn well. Because that's the thing, only you know yourself. And you need to be so confident that I am exactly who I say I am, so who are you to try and define me? You know yourself to the point where you know you would never have bad intentions, you are not a bad person, you are not who other people say you are exactly who you say you are. To the point where you know everyone's projecting, everyone's just viewing you through their own unique lens of their life experiences. So you are more than happy to be disliked. Because you're like, fine, that just simply means that you don't align with me. What, your values are misaligned with mine and that's why you don't like me? That is all it ever boils down to when you know you never did anything wrong. It's about reaching a point where you are so happy to be disliked because you know I'm living in my authenticity. And I know that you don't like me because I'm living in that authenticity and because I refuse to conform to what you want me to be. And you hate the fact that I'm outgrowing the box that you've made of me in your head. The more you are disliked, the bigger the sign is that you are finally being your true self, and people are just simply triggered by it. Plus, being disliked is a great, amazing sign that these people aren't meant for you. When you were constantly worried about improving others, impressing them, seeking their approval, mirroring them, you never know who's really for you. People disliking you is a part of life. It just redirects you onto the path that you were always meant to be on so that you can meet the people that will actually accept you and celebrate your authenticity and who you really are. Gratitude is a choice. It's not dependent on your circumstances. It's literally all within your perspective of how you decide to look at something. I was in my final year of university. I was struggling for money. I was overworked. I was working a job. I was doing my dissertation. I was completing my degree, aiming for a first class. I was volunteering and I was working on my social media side hustle. I had no time for social time. And I absolutely hated my degree. In fact, I wanted to drop out a year before. But the second I decided to start consciously being grateful, everything changed. Life actually became enjoyable. I switched my mindset to, oh my God, I get to study. I get to be in this university after spending 2 years working my ass off trying to get in. I get to have a part-time job and improve my CV to then improve the chances I have when I graduate. I get to work on my side hustle and improve my skill set so that I can actually do something that lights me up on the inside. Instead of, I'm so tired, I'm working so hard, this isn't fair, everyone's on holiday, why do I have to do this? You can't escape what you have to do. These are your circumstances. So if you are not consciously deciding to be happy about it, you are just creating your own suffering. Complaining about it isn't going to change how you're living. If you spend your time waiting for your life to be good enough to be grateful for, you will be waiting a lifetime. Let's not forget the reason that you're probably so miserable is because you're not grateful, because when you are grateful and when you do have higher vibrations, then your power to attract more abundance in your life increases. I finished this so fast. Just because you decide to walk away from a relationship and break up with someone doesn't mean you're over them. Like, I still very much was in love with this person and felt heartbroken. These are the things I did to help me get over them once and for all. Step number one, the most important thing, which probably helped me the most, was I made a list of all of the bad things about the relationship, all of the toxic things that happened, all of the bad arguments, the bad things about his character, because when you miss someone and you're heartbroken, your mind over romanticizes the relationship and the person, and it causes you to forget all the bad things that actually happened, and that's what causes people to go back to their ex. So I went through many days over about 6 months where I wanted to text him or call him or take him back, but every time I wanted to do that, I would look back on the list and I would get the ick so bad, and I would be reminded of everything that happened. Like, every time I read this list, I was like, oh yeah, that happened. Because I just kept forgetting that it was a bad relationship, and that stopped me from reaching out and getting back with him. Step number 2 is I stopped trying to find a rebound or go around and date, and I just spent time on my own, developing myself, doing self-growth, self-care, self-love, developing my career, my friendships, and putting focus into that. And at that point, I was enjoying life so much, and I had so many more healthy habits that I didn't feel like I needed a boyfriend or anyone or to go back to my ex. And the reason that that works so well is once you step away from the relationship and you make loads of changes to your life and you grow as a person, you think, that person, my ex, doesn't even know the person I am now, and look at how I flourished without them. They don't deserve me now. The goal is to glow up physically and mentally, emotionally, spiritually, everything, to the point where they no longer have access to you and they are now out of your league. Like, you can do so much better. Next, I made a list of everything I want in my ideal partner. So anytime I'd miss my ex, I'd look at this list of my soulmate qualities that I wanted and think of all of the things in this list that he actually lacked, would never be able to give to me, and also be reminded that there's this person out there waiting for me. Like, I have no idea how good it's gonna get, and if I could love the wrong person this much, imagine how much I'll be able to love the right person that will actually treat me good. I can't fit all of the reasons into this video, but I have a full in-depth YouTube video on how I got over this specific relationship on my YouTube channel, link in bio. Okay, I should be getting ready for bed, but I have something to say. So my entire life, I've always struggled with this feeling of feeling that I'm misunderstood by other people, family members, friends, even people I've been in relationships with, and it's very frustrating to feel like I have so much to say or so much to express, but no one actually gets it, and when I do try and express those things, I feel like they're misinterpreted and I'm just misunderstood as a person. And it can also be a very isolating feeling as well. But I heard someone say this, it might have been Jay Shetty, and I just heard this like really small clip of him saying the feeling of being understood is overrated. And he goes, I could easily go my life without wanting to feel understood by other people, which absolutely blew my mind because I've been fixated on this one thing for many years. And then I thought about this fact that I learned years ago, which is that nobody actually knows who we are. For example, you can grow up in the same household with your parents and your siblings, and both of them can look at you in two completely different perspectives because people only know you as far as the experiences they've had with you. So no one actually knows who you are because everybody in your life looks at you through a different lens. And then when I linked those two things together, I realized I understand why the feeling of being
understood is overrated, because nobody actually is ever going to understand you 100%. Even if you try to express your feelings, which is always good and encouraging, you should do that no matter what, seeking this feeling of 100% being understood by somebody is near impossible, because nobody knows the exact experiences you've had or the inner workings of your brain or why you think the way you do because of the journey you've been on in life. Only you know that. Like, not even your parents will understand that to a full extent, not your childhood best friend. And just that has brought me some reassurance in that I shouldn't put so much pressure on this whole I feel misunderstood, because the only person I should care about understanding me is me.
If you are going through a period of loneliness right now, then you need to listen to this. You are so lucky. And trust me when I say this, because I've been where you are right now many times.
The loneliness will hurt for a while, I know, and you'll constantly feel uncomfortable. In that deep loneliness that you are experiencing, you will meet the true version of yourself. You will understand yourself on the deepest level more than you could have ever imagined. And throughout that experience, you'll fall in love with yourself. And eventually you'll come to the realization that the loneliness wasn't that bad at all. In fact, the loneliness will become a new part of your routine, and you'll even go back there occasionally to seek solitude, love, acceptance, understanding, reassurance, and comfort. Stick with it. You got this, and it's not going to hurt forever.
Low vibration things I cut out of my life. Number 1, trying to be the cool girlfriend. I was always so focused on making sure I was the easygoing, cool, tolerable girlfriend that I wouldn't even have any boundaries in place. Now I give no Fs. Like, if you're doing something that bothers me, I will say it, and I will set my boundaries, and I will tell you what I will tolerate and what I won't. And if you can't handle that, then you're simply not the right person for me. And I'm glad I learned that, because otherwise people pleasing would have destroyed my life. 2, clubbing. Throughout my 3 years of uni, I was like a club addict. I went to a nightclub at least 3 times a week. I would always drink more than I could handle. And now I'll go once or twice a year, like for a friend's birthday. Otherwise, I have no interest in it. I think it's such a low vibrational place. It's so surface level, nobody connects on a real level. And it's literally just an entire night of seeking validation and trying to impress other people. Then there's fights, so there's drama, or you get yourself into unsafe situations. Not cute. 3, fast foods and sugar. Don't get me wrong, I haven't cut it out 100%, but the frequency in which I consume these foods are very rare. Because it's so normalized to eat fast food and consume a lot of sugar. But the effect that it can have on your hormones, on your health, on your mind, on your skin, body, etc. is insane. It can literally wreak havoc on you. The people that hurt us aren't always toxic. They're not always these big bad villains that we love to make them out to be. Sometimes things just don't work out. We outgrow people, goodbyes aren't said, and feelings are hurt. Sometimes there's no closure, and unfortunately sometimes we realise that we cared more about a person than they cared about us. But that's okay, because there's beauty in the fact that our paths crossed in the first place, and that we got to experience each other's energy for the timeline that we did. And now we get to move on and continue to meet other people, because the memories are ours forever, and people are temporary, and that's okay.